Blood on the leaves.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the most moving and memorable songs that were written to raise awareness of social issues.
The answer, my friend, is a blowing in the wind.
Before we continue, check out this single from Sound Mojo's Audio, Songs from Iran, reimagining Persian melodies as modern rock, metal, and pop songs. Check out the full track and album below.
When I rise, you fill my head. In every dream, it's you I've met.
Number 20, The Message, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five. The early years of hip-hop crucially shared the lively resilience of inner-city life with the American mainstream.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
The debut album of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five brought the sound of the club, but also sobering reality with its title track. The Message juxtaposes a captivating synthesized groove with vivid verses about urban decay, poverty, crime, and despair.
I can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice.
The 7-minute-long jam was a moderate hit, but that was enough to spark a musical revolution. The Message is considered the first of countless pop-oriented hip-hop songs to incorporate bold socio-political lectures.
I can't walk through the park cause it's crazy after dark. Keep my hand on my gun cause they got me on the run.
That these trailblazers did this so effectively really showed how rap fans can have a good time without disregarding the hard.
So don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge.
Number 19, American Idiot, Green Day.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Despite their unimaginable success for LA's punk scene, Green Day claimed fame mostly by speaking to the anxieties of youth. Then the concept album American Idiot spoke to an entire nation in the haze of a post-9/11 world.
Now everybody do the propaganda.
It opens up with the anarchist protagonist viciously taking down propaganda, nationalism, and general ignorance. The killer guitar riff and chorus didn't exactly hurt the single's commercial prospects with a brainwashed public.
Welcome to a new kind of tension all across the alien nation.
It alone was nominated for 4 Grammys. The altogether acclaimed concept album changed the direction, not only of Green Day, but of political rock for the 21st century. Of course, the track American Idiot says it all as an anthem for the whole era.
We're not the ones who meant to follow, for that's enough to kill.
Number 18, Zombie, The Cranberries. American grunge was mostly about raging against the nothingness of the 90s. But the Irish indie group The Cranberries really had something to talk about when they dabbled in that genre with Zombie.
Another head hangs lowly.
Frontwoman Dolores O'Riordan wrote this angry anthem in response to paramilitary terrorism over identity and sovereignty in Northern Ireland.
With their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns.
While some felt that it trivialized the complexities of the Troubles, others felt that that was the point. Zombie was championed by critics and audiences as a devastating lament of mindless political violence, enhanced by a controversially graphic music video.
In your head, in your head.
Whether the song's own association with Irish pop culture prioritizes the hook over the message, both are as impactful as ever.
Zombie, zombie, zombie.
Number 17, Changes, Tupac featuring Talent. Tupac Shakur's tragically brief career yielded some of the most important classics of hip-hop. A particularly important one came out 2 years after his murder.
I see no changes, wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living?
Recorded in 1992, Changes features Shakur's fiery flow over creative sampling of Bruce Hornsby's The Way It Is, leading into a soulful chorus sung by Talent. At the heart of this hook is an examination of systemic racism and plight that reaches a global scale.
See no changes, all I see is racist faces. Misplaced hate makes disgrace to racists.
Listeners were really struck by an ironic plea to resist violence. The single was itself a smash hit on a global scale, earning Shakur a Grammy nomination.
Cause I always got to worry about the payback. Some buck that I roughed up way back.
And with so little change in the years since, changes is an ever-relevant statement.
That's just the way it is. Oh yeah.
Some things will never change.
Number 16, We Shall Overcome, Pete Seeger. Mainstream activism was perfected by the folk progressivist Pete Seeger, but he'd have been proud to know that his most inspiring anthem was actually passed down.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
We Will Overcome was a traditional gospel piece that floated around the labor community until it was adapted by Lucille Simmons for a protest, then by Seeger for a wide audience.
We'll walk hand in hand.
The simple yet passionate call for prosperity especially resonated with the budding U.S. civil rights movement at the turn of the 1960s.
Oh, deep in my heart.
It was then that We Shall Overcome became a universal motto that was covered and adapted by artists all around the world. While Seeger has many wholly original anthems, this one's collaborative roots and ultimate impact exemplified his importance. Number 15, Killing in the Name, Rage Against the Machine. True to their name, Rage Against the Machine have filled their catalog with killer rap metal with a message.
Killing in the name of.
It all goes back to Killing in the Name, released with the band's debut album mere months after the 1992 Los Angeles riots.
Some of those that work forces draw the same that burn crosses.
The public had never heard that kind of infectiously funky punk. Unfortunately, the explosive rage against police brutality and systemic racism was all too familiar.
Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you.
Despite the usual backlash against the bold sentiments and language, Killing in the Name achieved a shocking commercial success that set up RATM as generation-defining iconoclasts. The revolutionary single that started it all simply stands out for its frankness about a persistent American crisis.
I won't do what you tell me.
Number 14, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, James Brown. Nothing gets a crowd on their feet like the godfather of soul.
Some people say we got a lot of malice. Some say it's a lot of nerve.
With Say It Loud, he and co-writer Alfred Pee Wee Ellis got them to take a stand. The anthem decries the racism experienced by Black Americans, while encouraging them to celebrate their identity and resilience. A choir of children from Watts and Compton responded to James Brown's call with this powerful turn for the mostly fun funk icon exemplified Black power. Brown would later express remorse that his rallying cry was embraced by the separatist factions of this movement. Mostly, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud is championed as a triumph in both his catalog and activist music. Number 13, Eve of Destruction, Barry McGuire. With the Cold War era heating up in the mid-1960s, E.F. Sloan poured all of his anger into Eve of Destruction. Folk rocker Barry McGuire then brought the ballad to improbable popularity with all the passion and catchiness of the budding protest pop movement.
The Eastern world, it is exploding.
The song, in fact, rejects the naive optimism of the mainstream counterculture to paint a bleaker portrait of social injustice, the war machine, and nuclear-age geopolitics.
I can't twist the truth, it knows no regulation.
The precise subjects in Sloan's lyrics are admittedly more dated than McGuire and many others' timeless interpretations.
And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend.
But with the constant turmoil of the world, some feel that instead of Kumbaya, we should all be singing Eve of Destruction.
You don't believe we're on the eve of destruction.
Number 12. Fight the Power. Public Enemy. The Spike Lee joint Do the Right Thing confronted moviegoers with how systemic racism had evolved in the 1980s. And it shook them from the opening credits with Public Enemy's Fight the Power.
1989, the number, another summer. Sound of the funky drummer.
This thumping creed against the corrupt American status quo really brought the heat to the summer of '89. It was also one of the first hip-hop hits to face its own heat for its hyperbolic lecture.
From the hardest to start a work of art to revolutionize, make a change, something strange.
After appearing on the seminal album Fear of a Black Planet in 1990, the deceptively complex song scored a Grammy nomination and became a cornerstone of conscious hip-hop.
What we got to say, all to the people, don't delay.
To this day, both Fight the Power and the film it was made for hit as hard as ever.
Fight the power. Fight the power.
Number 11. Get Up, Stand Up, The Wailers. What Bob Marley and Peter Tosh lacked in subtlety with their protest music was made up for in groovy hooks.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Get Up, Stand Up is particularly direct in its call to action against a status quo upheld by religious institutions.
Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth.
And it's particularly infectious for the Wailers' commanding chant and reggae rhythm, inspired by War's Slippin' Into Darkness. The song stood up on its own as the highlight of the revolutionary album Burnin', as well as a staple of Marley's live shows.
You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
Get Up, Stand Up was also performed by other Wailers for their solo career, among countless artists and activists who recognize music's power to move people toward change.
Don't give up the fight, 'cause I'll never give up the fight.
Number 10. War. The Temptations. Edwin Starr. An effective call for peace should have some metaphorical attack. Songwriters Barrett Strong and Norman Whitfield found that out the hard way when they wrote War as the Temptations' big break into counterculture music.
War. What is it good for?
Despite the track's acclaim with the album Psychedelic Shack, Motown didn't consider the soul group's emotive protest of the Vietnam War suitable for a single. It was a different case when Edwin Starr performed the song as an explosive funk tirade.
Induction, then destruction. Who wants to die?
His version jumped to the top of the Billboard Hot 100, becoming the singer's biggest hit and one of the defining anthems of a generation. Of course, don't devalue the permanent habit of responding to any mention of war with, what is it good for?
Absolutely.
Number 9. A Change is Gonna Come. Sam Cooke. A racially divided United States was always united in their love of Sam Cooke.
I was born by the river.
The King of Soul himself announced that wasn't enough with A Change is Gonna Come. The heartbreaking ballad reflects on marginalization and the singer's personal experiences with racism, with the belief that a better world is inevitable.
It's been a long time coming.
This bold single for a popular black artist in 1964 didn't enjoy the same chart success as Cooke's lighter hits. As its popularization grew in association with the civil rights movement, it was hailed as his masterpiece.
Change gonna come.
That's not likely to change, as A Change is Gonna Come continues to resonate as something more than a beautiful work of art.
Oh, yes it will.
Number 8. Fortunate Son. Creedence Clearwater Revival. The grievances of the 1960s counterculture were basically summed up by U.S. draft deferral policies during the Vietnam War.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
They were were more movingly represented by what is arguably Creedence Clearwater Revival's signature anthem. Fortunate Son combats militarism with the realities of war and young men's ability to legally evade it through education, connections, or a buyout.
Some folks are born silver spoon in hand. Lord, don't they help themselves, y'all?
John Fogerty's fiery riff and vocals alone made the song forever synonymous with the anti-war movement of the time. It's even become a period piece cliché. Within the lyrics, though, is a timeless metaphor for warfare of the class variety.
It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no millionaire son. No.
Whenever and however you hear it, Fortunate Son can always set a fire in its listeners.
I ain't no fortunate one.
Number 7. What's Going On? Marvin Gaye. The great R&B romantic Marvin Gaye wasn't pitching a pickup line with his 1971 concept album. What's Going On tackled contemporary issues in the U.S. from the perspective of a disillusioned Vietnam War veteran. The titular opening track is the perfect overture as a chilling lament of war, discrimination, systemic violence, and conservative indifference.
Talk to me so you can see.
Gaye explores these themes more thoroughly throughout the album, with the closing track Inner City Blues standing out as a masterful meditation on poverty and racism. The song What's Going On, nonetheless, boldly announces the singer's departure from pristine pop for more personal and serious material. It's as ethereal as any of his ballads, but with a particular importance to its raw emotion. Number 6. For What It's Worth, Buffalo Springfield. There's a lot of worth in the simplicity of the composition and message of For What It's Worth.
There's something happening here.
The psychedelic folk ballad became Buffalo Springfield's biggest hit thanks to its commanding harmonies and Neil Young's haunting guitar work. Never mind that its message of reason and empathy inspired by riots in LA and associated with the Vietnam War resonated beyond the counterculture movement.
There's battle lines being drawn.
It was a protest against divisive protesting, launching Stephen Stills as a premier activist singer-songwriter.
It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound?
He and Young would later push their ideas further through their iconic work with David Crosby and Graham Nash. Still, memorable and moving counterculture anthems don't get much more refined than For What It's Worth.
Everybody look what's going down.
Number 5. This Land Is Your Land, Woody Guthrie.
This land is your land, and this land is my land.
Folk singer Woody Guthrie's travels across America fueled his politics, art, and unlikely prominence as a left-wing activist throughout the 20th century.
From the California to the New York Island.
The Odyssey culminated in a distortion of the Irving Berlin anthem, God Bless America, which Guthrie found overly optimistic.
And on the sign it said no trespassing.
But This Land Is Your Land isn't just a condemnation of the division and hierarchy corrupting a world of opportunity. It's a celebration of the uniquely diverse country's capacity for compassion. This Land Is Your Land has thus taken root as an anthem for the American ideal. Even though its radicalism is often downplayed, it sure isn't lost on many artists worldwide whose covers turned it into a universal message for unity and freedom.
This land was made for you and me.
Number 4. Strange Fruit, Billie Holiday. Jazz singer Billie Holiday's popularity across racial barriers in 1930s America was almost unheard of.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit.
So she used her platform to promote the sobering reality expressed in a poem by Abel Meeropol. Strange Fruit graphically details the scene of a racist lynching with sparse instrumentation behind Holiday's broken vocals.
Pastoral scene of the gallant South.
Astonishingly, this uncompromising expression of racial injustice was a huge commercial success. Evidence suggests that the U.S. government's harassment of Holiday through hardened anti-narcotics laws was in response to her sedition. She continued singing Strange Fruit even after being warned not to.
Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck.
The song threatened her career for a time, but it empowered her legacy as both an icon and an iconoclast. Number 3. Imagine, John Lennon.
Imagine there's no heaven.
The most outspoken Beatles solo career continued to rap heavy messages in a mainstream hook. He even created the quintessential pacifist chant in the Plastic Ono Band's Give Peace a Chance. But Imagine has to be John Lennon's most poignant invitation.
Above us, only sky.
The soft rock ballad asks listeners to consider the feasibility of a world without war, discrimination, materialism, and even religion. The sentiment sometimes seems divisive, but the sincerity of Lennon and Yoko Ono's words represent true unity.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
And the dreamy orchestral arrangement makes it sound like paradise. Lennon himself later admitted that Imagine felt too sentimental compared to his and Ono's earlier collaborations. For most, though, it's the kind of masterpiece that can move anyone to contemplate a cause.
And the world will live as one.
Number 2. The Revolution will not be televised. Gil Scott-Heron. Counterculture art didn't get much more confrontational than jazz poet Gil Scott-Heron.
You will not be able to stay home, brother.
And yet, his infectious and experimental style held so much mainstream appeal that his debut single was somehow a hit. The Revolution will not be televised rattles an impeccable funk rhythm with a tirade against American pop culture as a distraction from Black American plight.
The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions.
Whether you experienced that plight, learning the truth for your own sake requires getting off the couch. It wasn't a threat, but an effective call for enlightenment. The Revolution will not be televised turned Scott-Heron into an unlikely star with an indelible influence on music, particularly developing hip-hop.
The revolution will not be televised.
It also ironically showed how even the most radical messages can be broadcast with the right hook.
The revolution will be live.
Number 1. Blowin' in the Wind, Bob Dylan.
How many roads must a man walk down?
Political folk music didn't have much place in modern pop until Bob Dylan came along. Even then, his adherence to dated topical ballads didn't resonate as widely as his contemplation on the timelessness of progress. Blowin' in the Wind places the end of discrimination, war, and suffering alongside the end of the world.
Yes, and how many years can some people exist?
Natural answers to all of society's problems are out there if society becomes willing to listen. Dylan's poignant philosophy struck the world with commercial prospects of modern protest music.
Yes, and how many ears must one man have?
He himself continued to be a leading progressive troubadour, with masterpieces like The Times They Are A-Changin'. Blowin' in the Wind may have started it all, but the worth of its message will never change.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
Which protest songs hit you the hardest? Take a stand in the comments.